This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. You all set? Great, excellent. Okay. I'd like to call the meeting to order of the June Town Council, Essex Town Council at 6:33. And if we could have a roll call, we'll do a salute to the flag, please. Pick a flag.
Yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could I have a roll call, Alicia?
Councilwoman LaFawn. Oh, I am. Oh, sure.
Oh, we went out of order. Oh, you're going this way. Okay.
Okay, no. It's you. Councilwoman Howell. Here. Councilman. That's right, Jackson.
I'm here.
And Councilman DeFranco. He's on there, right?
He's joining us. Chris, can you say that you're here?
I'm here, yeah.
Excellent.
And Supervisor Jackson.
Supervisor Hughes is here too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Supervisor Hughes.
We're going to move on to the adoption of minutes. So I'd like to talk about the May 14th. We're calling, I want to just be very clear with everybody. If you had a chance to take a peek, we're calling any recording of our proceedings that took place via remote, because we haven't met like this since March, a transcript. And that's what the county attorney and the governor's office told us that we were able to do. So the transcript from last meeting was 198 pages long. I don't know, Claire, did you go ahead and edit it for content?
No, I don't.
So,
Slacker. She's a slacker.
So I want to let everybody know, I'm fully aware that the written transcript is there are inaccuracies in terms of how it recorded our voices, but it is always going to be a part of the record next to the video that was created with it. So my feeling, as it was for the April one, is that even though the written transcript does have some words in it that are not accurate to what we said verbatim, it will always be accompanied with the video. Which
My question, are you gonna have minutes from it?
so the
We'll have the transcript and the video, but are we having separate minutes that are accurate?
my understanding is that that was not necessary for the because we're meeting in person here. Alicia will have minutes for this meeting, and she will have minutes for the emergency meeting that we had on May 28th.
Very-
Expect that anytime we do meet in person, she has the responsibility to provide us with minutes. But the transcript was provided in absence of minutes because we were not physically together.
But in this meeting, you'll have the transcript and the meeting.
No transcript. We don't need a transcript for this because we're meeting in person. We will have the minutes, which in my opinion
You have to have it for the people.
well, the minutes will be for the people.
Oh, the minutes
Yep.
instead of the transcript.
The minutes will be for the people like they always would be, even if they couldn't be here.
Now, the minutes always have to go in this big book that you keep forever.
Mhm.
So how are you doing
With a transcript,
with the transcript?
we'll print it out back to back.
Okay, no, I was just
Yeah.
curious because I know that, when you go through the look.
Yeah. No, we'll print it out back to back, and that's just what we'll have to do.
Okay.
For,
Do we have to move the transcript?
I would like us to move the transcript and just approve them. Yeah, yes, please. If you feel so comfortable doing.
Yeah.
Okay, will Ron
I'll
move?
it.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Not sure, but second.
Well, no, it's, as you say, it's inaccuracies.
There's inaccuracies in the written transcript, but it will always be associated with a YouTube video that we own forever. And that's located on the Essex Supervisor's Google account.
And what's going to happen when the Google account is obsolete?
I don't know the answer to
And
that.
somebody is going to come in and ask for whatever. I mean, Alicia gets asked for death
Yeah.
certificate.
We did.
Entitled to it.
All of these things.
So we did the best we could
No,
with the
I
situation that we
understand it.
had.
I'm not being critical.
Yeah, I
I'm just
understand.
questioning.
The town board absolutely has the right to tell the town clerk and or the deputy town clerk at her discretion to edit those minutes for accuracy. And that's up to the board.
I think if people want a copy of it, they should be able to.
They can get a copy of it, that's not a problem, but I think the question on the floor is about the accuracy of the words in the transcript, because it was done by an automated algorithm on this program.
Well, it is what it is. Let's face it, this is an unusual situation. So
Mhm.
you kind of have to go with the flow, I guess.
Is there any other conversation about the transcript for May 14th? I need a roll call vote, please, Alicia.
Councilwoman McLean,
Yes.
Councilwoman Powell,
Yes.
Councilman Jackson,
Yes,
Councilman DePinto,
Yes.
and Supervisor Hill.
Yes, thank you. We held a public hearing and emergency meeting on May 28th. You do not have any paperwork for that tonight because open meetings law does not require the town clerk to have it any sooner than the 2 weeks. And actually today is the end of that 2 weeks.
I'll make a motion to table the minutes until next month.
Thank you, Ron. Do I have a second for that table? Thank you very much. The motion, we will table the May 28th emergency meeting minutes. Okay, thank you very much. I'd like to move on to new business. Update on COVID-19 in Essex County. Want to let you know that there currently are 56 total positive cases in Essex County. If you go onto the essexnewyork.com website and click on the regional dashboard, you can actually click on by county or by region, and our numbers are super duper low, and they remain low over the long term, which is really great. Phase 3 is going to open tomorrow in Essex County and in the North Country, and that's going to affect food service and personal care. We have several businesses that does affect, and I've reached out to each business. All of our personal care businesses, which in my opinion is yoga and physical therapy, and we have a PT in town as well. And I reached out to all the food service establishments in Essex today to let them know, and I asked them if they needed anything, and they felt really comfortable with what they had to do to move forward. So phase 3 will begin tomorrow. One important aspect of phase 3 that I would like your support on tonight is the governor has allowed for playgrounds to reopen, but only at the consent of the municipality. So the playground can be open tomorrow if we agree to that. They're currently right now down by the playground in Beggs Park. There is a hand sanitizing station that Tina set up at the water spigot. That could double as a hand sanitizing station for the playground. I have 12 more gallons of sanitizer that I just got today from emergency services. We could put another one down there if we wanted to. My understanding is that coronavirus, COVID-19, the virus itself, in outdoor situations, doesn't do so well and doesn't stay a long time on those surfaces, especially in the sunlight. That's what I've read and I've heard and I understand. So my recommendation to the town board is that we do allow the playground at Beggs Park to reopen tomorrow with phase 3 with appropriate hand sanitizing station down there.
Are we gonna make any efforts once a day, once every other day, once a week, whatever, to clean the equipment down there, just so that there is a log that we are attempting to deal with any possible?
That's a great question. That would probably have to fall on myself to do that, or a member of the board, as we don't have necessarily the personnel unless you wanted to ask you. No, I totally understand.
But I just think if we had that, we should, I'm all for opening it, don't get me wrong. But I just think for liability, we should at least make an attempt to clean it the best we can.
And your children, how do you feel about it?
My kids have kind of grown out of it, but I have seen people walking around town with strollers. And I was like, I don't know where they're going. I know they would appreciate it, but I have seen, some friends of mine in other areas where there's a sign at the playground says if there's more than, 8 people here, you need to come back later. you need
I
to
like
have
that. Limit the
proper-
people. I
you
like
need
that a
to
lot.
have, Mouth, we need to have the mask between children, and we do have a cleaning station. And with the cleaning station, just for minutes, maybe it should go under the pavilion or something that covers it so it doesn't get blown away.
We could add a
I've got
second,
it high rack.
Oh, okay.
we can add
Not going
a
over.
second one down there. That's not a problem to add a second. Somebody actually in Lake Placid had a really, I wish I was handy, a small little wooden stool with a
Yeah.
hole in it, and you just put it right in the stool hole, and it almost looked like a toilet, right?
Yeah.
But the gallon went inside that hole, and
It wouldn't take much to make the,
Or even,
I don't know. I'm not handy.
a little tiny,
We could just put, we would need to.
or even there's just the entrance.
Put a sign.
Maybe is anything, like, it's not that crowded, it's like 4th of July, but we're not doing it, so, but I think a sign telling people,
Maintaining, yeah,
maybe we say this is not regularly maintained. So I don't know. If we don't have it.
could we put wipes there for them? So if you go there with your 3-year-old, you want to clean the swing,
yeah.
they could have something to put you can still use the hand sanitizer, but if you had something you put it on, clean
I
it.
was
So
feeling
Yeah.
you're probably correct.
Absolutely, yeah. I personally don't mind making an effort to go down there once a week too, if I have whites.
If I have
Just doing
time,
it.
I will.
If I have time, I'm happy to do it, I really am.
So we'll make an effort.
Yeah, and I think the sign is important, but that sign, to your point, already emphasizes what you need to do anyway.
Yeah.
6 feet of distance, we have to wear a mask, all those
And
things.
limit of 8 people.
Limit 10's the
10
number,
people.
but yeah,
That's
10's the
fine.
number,
And-
yeah.
And that there's no bathroom.
And there is no bathroom, yeah.
Except the legs.
Nah! Okay, so is it amenable to the town council that we can reopen the Beggs Park playground with these precautions that we will put into place? Ron, are you okay with that?
Absolutely.
And are you
You want
okay?
it in a motion?
No, I don't think we need to make it a motion.
Okay.
I think this is just a check-in on everybody.
Yep.
Aaron, you feel comfortable?
Yeah. I think it'd be nice.
Yeah, I agree. I have had people knocking on my door asking me when the playground open. I say when the governor lets us. So,
I know, he's let,
yeah, Claire, how do you feel?
That's fine. I mean, I just want to feel good.
Yeah, my kids are going out of it too. So, I mean, 12 and 14.
But still, they.
But they might go down there.
They,
Yeah.
it's just like, this is kind of one of those stuff.
Yeah. Chris, how do you feel, sir?
I think it sounds great. I say bring it on. Hey, just so
Okay.
you know, Ken, the audio is it's a little intermittent. It's kind of hard to hear everybody consistently.
Okay, that's the problem with not everybody having their own personal mic. Claire says you need to come here if you want to hear what's going on.
Yeah. There's a little thing called COVID-19 going around.
That's
Yeah,
fine,
thank
no
you very
worries. Yeah, I know it's hard to hear other people's conversation, so we're trying the best we can. I apologize. But the minutes will reflect the conversation that we put out. Okay, so we will open the playground tomorrow, and yeah, we'll make that happen with
That
those.
would be a good idea to put it on the website.
We'll alert the world.
Do you have a limit of what you're going to do for people down there?
It's got to be 10. It's got to be 10 or less. And that's the limit anywhere, honestly. In Beggs, in any kind of group, it's 10 or less.
And does that also, do you not want people using the pier to dump off?
So
Or-
there technically is no
Which I
swimming.
know, yeah,
There's
that's right.
technically is no swimming. We do not have a sheriff officer to police that. But if people want to go down to Beggs on the dock, we ask that they do maintain the 6 feet of separation as they're able to.
Sunday.
Yep.
They
We ask
want
that
to fish or
there
something.
can't be more than 10 people on the dock, in my opinion. You want to really just try and use those smart, just use what you're supposed to do everywhere. So, okay. Any other conversations about Beggs, about the playground? Great. We will work together. Yes, sir?
Hey, Ken,
Yeah.
I'd like to say something at some point about not about Beggs Park, so you can finish this up, but I want to say something about the audio. There's a comment that was made. So go ahead. Just give me a minute here. A minute.
Okay, just chime in when you want to speak up. Okay, we're going to move on to resolutions. Resolution 57, 2020 is to hire Kelsey Reynolds as a transfer station substitute. The following resolution is being made to hire Kelsey Reynolds of Willsboro, New York as a transfer station substitute.
I don't have any problem with that. But would you tell me who is supposed to be there and who actually works there? Every time I go there, somebody different.
Let's add that to the discussion. I just need to make a motion in a second. Yeah. Okay, we'll have Claire make the motion and. Okay, Aaron. Okay, so discussion. So right now, currently we have, there's 3 people that work at the transfer station. You have Harold, you have Roger, who we just hired. Okay, so those are the guys that are there every day, and Jeremy. No, he's not that. The Jeremy's position is, those are the 3 positions that are there Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. Jeremy's out on medical leave. Okay, so because he's out on medical leave, Harold needs to have a substitute. A substitute then notes, a substitute and David, and that substitute has been Kelsey's tried it out a couple days. She said she really liked it. She'd like to make it a summer job for herself. That's why we're adding her as an official substitute, so we can add it to the payroll and make it
So
official.
I have no problem.
Yep,
I'm just
amazing.
trying to figure out,
That's why you're seeing, because there are different people working for Jeremy.
well, what happened to the person who fired as a plan? Who decided not to do it?
He tried it, and we didn't hire him as permanent. He tried it for a day and found out that he just didn't realize that it was just too physically demanding for what he wanted to do. And so we hired him as a substitute because he was saying, I'll come in on call every once in a while, it's fine, but I don't want the 3-day week obligation.
I'm just curious.
No, great questions, absolutely. Yeah, great
That's
questions.
Hades' daughter.
That's Hades' daughter, yes, and Harold's granddaughter, yeah. And she's really great. She's a good worker. She's got a great personality. She's really good with the people, and yeah, and
No,
she's
I have
enjoyed
no
it so
problem
far.
with that as well.
Okay. Any other questions about Kelsey? Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Klein? Yes. Councilwoman Hall? Yes. Councilman Jackson?
Yes,
Councilman DePinto?
Sure.
And Supervisor Hughes?
Yes. Moving on to resolution 58, this is to appoint Aaron Hall to the wastewater committee. The following resolution is being made to the Hall committee.
we'll,
Is that a motion?
that is a motion.
Ron? And I did a second. Claire? Okay. Any discussion? Glad you're interested in doing it. You should abstain when your name is called. I need a roll call, please.
Councilwoman Klein? Yes. Councilwoman Hall? Councilman Jackson?
Yes,
Councilman DePinto?
Yes.
Yes. Resolution 59 is to appoint Donna Sonnet to the wastewater committee. The following resolution is being made to appoint Donna Sonnet to the wastewater committee. Yeah, absolutely. Give me a second, please. Thank you, Claire. I'm glad, I just like to say I'm really happy that Donna's going to be a part of this. She's the owner of the Cupola House, and
she was at our last.
She was at our last
She
meeting.
contributed, I think she's gonna be very good.
I agree, absolutely.
Her
Roll call.
perspective,
Say that again, please.
she has a different perspective because she's a business owner, not a, that's.
And
somebody on
resident,
the town board.
Yeah. Okay, Alicia, can I have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Klein? Yes. Councilwoman Hall? Yes. Councilman Jackson?
Yes,
Councilman DePinto?
Yes. We can't hear, but yes.
And Supervisor Hughes?
Yes. You can't hear me, Chris, or you can't hear the conversation?
No, we all hear you perfectly, Ken, and to Claire's comment about me needing to be there to hear, I can see that there are 8 townspeople that are in on this besides me. So I promise you that those 8 townspeople cannot hear. We all hear Ken perfectly, and everybody else is kind of intermittent. So
And
do
the
the best
reason
we
why
can.
is everybody is 6 feet apart from me, and and the voices, so I guess I would just ask if you can, and we have masks on too, so that's
Yeah.
the challenge. Certainly don't vote for anything, Chris. If you need any clarification, I'll be happy to repeat something if you feel it's necessary, okay?
Okay,
Excellent.
cool. Thank you, Ken.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem at all. I want to make sure everybody knows what's going on. And resolution 60. This is a resolution of appreciation to Louis Comeau for his ongoing efforts to beautify town hall property. I wrote this resolution last week because Lou has just really gone above and beyond without any request for payment, totally voluntary. And I've just been really, really appreciative of his efforts to work with me almost on a near daily basis to just help out around here and take care of the beautification of the town hall property. And I've written this resolution, and I can read it really quickly if you want me to, or if you have all read it, I'm happy to forego that. You tell me what you'd like to do.
I read it, I thought it was fine.
Hi, Frank, how are you?
You tell us how much you owe us for EMS, we can give you an invoice.
I cannot. How much, who owes?
It's in the budget, what the amount. I thought we paid them.
I don't know. You're hitting me in left field here. I have no idea.
Okay, come to a financial statement.
Yeah, you'll get it.
Okay, so see if you can find out, and let me know when we send you the invoice.
Okay, so you want to know exactly what, Frank?
What we have budgeted for Willsboro Essex EMS.
Okay,
So that they put an invoice and we can pay it. We have,
Nobody, because we haven't got it.
no, you have to have an invoice because it's not like the fire departments where they have the ability to back.
we'll get that information and I'll connect with you tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, great, thank you. I am going to take a few moments just to read this. Whereas Lou Comeau of Essex, New York is an avid gardener and cares very much about the beautification of the hamlet of Essex. And whereas Lou Comeau helped to establish the Essex Community Garden in 2014 with the Essex County Public Health Department. And whereas Lou Comeau led the effort to completely rebuild and rehabilitate garden beds that were rotting or caving in on themselves. And whereas Lou Comeau works with area residents to coordinate their ability to tend a garden behind Town Hall. And whereas Lou Comeau continues to help improve the gardens of the Town Hall by weeding garden beds, planting a variety of plants, and transplanting shrubs and plants as needed to help keep the gardens looking beautiful. And whereas Lou Comeau takes the time to consult with the town supervisor to ensure that his efforts are in line with the expectations of the town. And whereas Lou Comeau goes out of his way to help the town to keep it beautiful on his own volition and of his own accord. Be it further resolved that the town council of the town of Essex extends its heartfelt appreciation and gratitude to Lou Comeau for his ongoing efforts to keep town hall gardens well maintained and beautiful.
Very good.
I would say unanimous.
I would say a unanimous
One
second.
out, move it unanimous.
Do you want to move it, Ron?
Sure.
Okay, Ron, and we'll do a unanimous second. Chris, do you understand what just happened there?
Yeah, I think it's great.
Okay, great. Thank you very, very much. Okay, moving on. I want to talk to you all about the water district update very quickly. We have not heard anything back from the State Emergency Management Office about the temporary treatment trailer. Please keep your fingers crossed. Let me move this down a little bit so people can see. We have submitted successfully the Northern Borders Regional Commission grant. Please keep all fingers and toes crossed on that one. That is $1 million grant that we would really love to receive. There is going to be a pre-bid in-person meeting that will be held on June 15th at the Fire Hall at 10 a.m. Your presence is encouraged if you're able to make it, but not required. On July 8th, which is the day before we are scheduled to meet again, I need to make sure that we all can meet at, what time is that? 3, is it 3 o'clock on my calendar?
Yeah, put you down here.
That's what I have on there, but that doesn't mean that's right. Let me just verify. July the 8th. I believe the time is 3 o'clock that day for a special meeting to open sealed bids. We at least need a quorum to attend that meeting?
Yeah, and that 3 is when we always have it, so UPS has time to get here.
Okay,
Because a lot of them people UPS the bids, so that's traditional. 3
Okay.
o'clock.
Ron, are you able to make July 8th at 3?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay, that'll take place here at Town Hall. Ron's good. Aaron? Okay, that's fine. Claire? Yes. Chris, are you able to make a July 8th, 2020 Town Hall or remote meeting at 3 o'clock that day?
What day of the week is it?
It's going to be a Wednesday.
Okay, I probably can make it.
Okay.
It's behind
So-
my work and it's a little challenging.
I totally understand that. So we're going to schedule a special meeting for July 8th, 3 o'clock to open sealed bids. If you can attend. Ron, how long does that, might that typically take?
5 minutes.
Oh, really? Okay, so Ron's saying it should not take more than 5-10 minutes to do that sealed bid opening. So
Okay.
just want to put everybody.
You
Okay.
definitely want Jonathan here.
Yes.
All right.
I think he made the recommendation on the meeting time. So, okay, so we'll get that advertised and out for 3 o'clock on the 8th. If anything changes, I will let you all know. Okay, and that'll take place in this room right here. Okay, moving on to letter G, Hometown Heroes banners. I'm providing you with the communication that I received from Robin Belzile related to Hometown Heroes. She informed me that she did receive a request. I'd like to give this to you, Ron.
Oh,
Claire. This is a public comment that I received from Monica Rumsey related to this. Chris, I'll put this comment in your inbox. I asked Robin for a little bit more information about cost, commitment, etc. And on the second page, page 2, you can see what the cost is, what the charges are, and how it works. So this is open for discussion, contemplation, and conversation.
I was curious, the $200, how are these paid for? Are they donated?
yeah, the people do it for the grandfather.
Yeah. I think the family
So
pays
that's
for
the
it.
family pays for it.
Yeah, the family pays for it, and then we use the good services of our town highway department to hoist them up on the
Thing is,
similar to what we do with the flags.
you can't have flags in that. There's not enough poles.
Okay.
So if you do that, then you're doing away with the flag.
So the question which is a concern. That is a concern. The question also becomes, could they be posted elsewhere where there are no? We don't have in our town where a banner can go.
There's certain rules and regulations. Because if you can't be in the right of way, it has to be so many feet in. And then I don't know all the rules and regulations, but I do know that they can be only on certain poles, and
I believe they gotta be on poles that have lights on.
I think so, I think you're right.
That's what it is.
You can't have a tree overlapping that, and this, that, and the other. There's a lot of stuff.
I don't know the answer to that. Yeah, I don't know what the
But
difference
isn't
is.
there
between-
something, they can't be in so many feet of the right of way,
Yeah,
in case of a truck going by or some such thing?
I don't know, Willsboro's.
Well, they're
way
higher
on
than that. They're
way on the highway.
high.
Well,
Yeah.
they are.
High pole, I mean, the telephone pole's right there.
But
5
the
feet
car
from
can't
the-
be over the road. It can't be where a truck is gonna hit it, it's somebody's.
And you almost think about the truck.
Correct.
Okay.
It's more of a project.
So you're concerned that we lack the, we don't have a bucket truck. Okay.
You could rent one, but now you're up in the cost.
I mean, it's a great idea. I mean, you probably have to get permission from gas to put it on.
Oh, you do.
pole.
Yeah, you would.
You do, you do.
You're gonna have to-
Does the town board want me to connect with individual rules and regulations are. Borough, Lewis, and Port Henry to find out what the rules and regulations, because I think we're kind of talking that we don't have actual, to get the actual facts from Willsboro, Lewis, and Port Henry to bring back to you for July for further discussion.
Or
Okay. That's all of that.
Yeah, I just want, because, the big concern is if we're lacking a bucket truck, if we're lacking the ability to put it up, I mean, that's a game changer right there.
yeah,
But-
you have to rent one, they're not cheap.
Well, then, yeah, then you're, yeah.
And that's twice a year.
I do know where I have one up for my father.
Okay,
They use the counties, excuse me, county has one that they pay them. And what they did down there is it wasn't allowed, but they put it on to the taxpayers for renting that
okay,
to do it with.
okay.
I believe you can talk to Tom Scott about
Yeah.
all the positive, that's what they did, because I still pay taxes on my mom's property there.
Okay.
And it wasn't, maybe, off the top of my head, maybe $30.
Okay.
Put on taxes.
I mean, if the town council tells me right now, we don't want anything to do with this, I will do that. That's fine. But if the town council wants me to do something about it, I will do something about it. This is our decision. I just,
That person called me and say that they would be interested in, overseeing the program.
oh, okay,
If we accept the
understood.
person said that they would oversee the project.
Okay,
All right, so we have, this person is not, wild about the idea of this, you set up in the hamlet, but that's another thing, how many people are excited about the idea, this person wants to take it on,
Yeah.
maybe you finding the facts might help us make, and maybe also during that time, we might get more.
It's even something we could put out on the website and stuff, looking for feedback, what are the people, the town's interest on, because we're kind of, no one's totally against, no one's totally for, pretty much, so we're looking for some input on it. I kind of like the flags, I'll be true.
I do, I like the flags as well.
I think a little, if we had, I don't think it might be just.
Understood. And that's a concern. That is a true concern.
It'd be too much.
Yeah, that is a true concern. Yeah.
We gotta think about who we're gonna have to store them.
Yeah,
It is going to have to be stored flat.
well, Ken buys that other house, but, no, there's problems with it, you're right.
Storing flat, I'm not.
It's a
storage
nice
is not a
thing,
problem.
but there's a lot of complications.
So is everybody in agreement? Chris, do you have any feedback that you want to offer here?
No, I think the Hometown Heroes thing is great. And it was hard for me to hear what everybody just said. So apologies if I'm repeating something, but I think it's amazing to honor, veterans. I have veterans in my family, and I think it's amazing. So sometimes I think, well, maybe do we want to do what everybody else does to honor veterans? I do like the flags. And I think I heard someone say the flags, you can't do the flags and the banners together.
That is correct. That was said, yes. There's concerns
Okay.
about regulations on the poles. There's concerns about the ability to even put them up.
Yeah.
Claire did say that somebody was interested in potentially overseeing it for the town of Essex, and we think we're going to look for some feedback from the public, in addition
Yeah.
to those facts that we're going to get from the other municipalities to make a more informed decision.
Okay, I think that sounds great. I think that sounds like a great idea.
Okay.
Whatever happened to the honor roll that used to be over there?
What's that?
Whatever happened to the honor roll?
Claire's asking about an honor roll.
That was back in World War II.
Well, I realized that.
No, it just deteriorated and got torn
All
down.
right, so it basically was wood.
It was wood.
Okay.
And Harry Alden put that on.
Right.
It was nice, really was nice. And Shirley's got records of World War II
Right, she does.
stuff, but I don't know about Korea, Vietnam, and everything since. So it would be, I think that would be a nice thing. If I had my own personal choice, leave the flags and have a
Permanent display or something?
permanent display of the people that have served. And perhaps you could even go back farther than World War II, but it'd be difficult to get all the names, and would certainly forget people. But I think that would be a very nice thing.
I did hear someone say the same thing to you, what you said today.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
I said, I just was thinking of something that showed respect and honor and that we had before,
Yeah,
but I couldn't remember what happened.
no, that was even before I born, it was born and torn down.
So I'll chase these leads. We'll do due diligence here, and we'll make a thoughtful decision in July. And then we can, if we go for it, great, then we'll follow through. If not, then we can think of alternatives that, like Chris talked about, would reflect a uniqueness to the town of Essex. Everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Moving on to letter H, barbecue installation. About 3 or 4 years ago, Ben and Warren Jackson went around town and I probably came to the town council before I was even on the town council to talk about installing these barbecues in Beggs Park. And the town council overwhelmingly enthusiastically supported it. I think you guys, at least Claire and Ron, most likely remember this. The barbecues have been purchased. The barbecues are I think at the highway garage. I think that's, they're down at the beach house. Great. So they've been sitting there. They've been purchased and they've been sitting there. And I want to get some movement on them. So if you take a look.
The plan was when they finish rebuilding the water, that's when they're going to put it up.
Okay,
There was just so much going on, they don't want to get them broken.
100% correct.
Yeah.
Um,
Hopefully next year, that would be the time.
I'd like to beg a request. If you look on the second page of this document, you'll see a map. And you'll see 3 places where I kind of guessed where we could put these barbecues. And I'm wondering if any of you would object to at least getting one of the barbecues installed at the north side, on the top of the page there, on the north side, before the project goes in, and then we can add the other 2 after the project goes in. Just to show Warren and Ben that we care, we want to do something.
Over there, I would think would be safe.
Are
I
you?
think they're only 2, I think,
I think there's 2. There are 3?
I thought there was 3.
I cannot remember.
I thought, I've always heard 3. Yeah, I've always heard 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
That location, though, I didn't know if it was too close to trees, to foliage, because there's that birch cluster there, and I don't know, safety wise.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair question. I think what I was looking, I don't think it would be, there's a picnic table in that area back there, but it's not gonna be right next to it. I think I would like to have it come out just a little bit so it's not directly underneath that foliage. More, it would be out a little bit more. And if you all are okay with it, I would be happy to work with any of you to find the accurate placement for putting that in.
Maybe.
Yeah, I've reached out to Craig.
It
Yeah,
was-
yep. I've reached out to Craig and encouraged him to connect with me and Warren and Ben on all of that. So everyone's optimistic, but I just want your approval to at least get one of them in, just to show these young men that we really appreciate their efforts, and we're going to get started on it. Is everybody okay with that? Any concerns?
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Of course.
I just want to point out that a lot of people do photo ops down there
Mhm.
for weddings and stuff like that.
Okay.
And make sure that they're
Not part of the photo. Yeah, that's perfectly good. A good
Prom
call.
pictures, except there aren't any of them this year.
Yeah.
Usually they're against
And
that
that-
brick wall
Yeah.
there. Yeah, but I'll make sure that not part of a photo area.
I know in those birch trees, a lot of people do take
Yeah,
pictures in front of.
Oh,
those
do they?
birch trees.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. The good news is I think they're removable. I believe, did you tell me this? That there's
Correct. There's a
they go into
base
the
that stays
base
there.
that stays there, and then they can come out any other time. So they're not there year round. We can pull them out.
Okay.
Or if somebody did rent it out, we could temporarily remove them. So,
restricted to charcoal only. Correct.
yeah. Yeah, I would say, yeah, and that could be additional. I want to take a look at some of the Beggs Park rules for July, and if we do this, I want to make sure that those concerns are addressed. So, Chris, any concerns, questions about this?
No, I think it all sounds great.
Okay, great. Let me ask you this question, Bradley, to put you on the spot. Would we use you and your crew to help install those bases, or should we go elsewhere? I know you're busy, and I'm not saying it has to be done tomorrow, but I would like to know if you think that that would be something you would be, you would take on, or if we should outsource this.
Yeah, look at it.
Look at it, see what it's paying.
Okay,
A big job, we can probably do.
okay. Would you take a peek and let me know? That'd be great. Absolutely, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna, once I had this conversation, I'm gonna reconnect with Craig and those guys and just say, okay, let's start working together to get this done. So,
Just another thing is, there's a lot of wire in that ground down here to make sure.
Okay, you got
You
it.
check with me.
oh,
That one you have by the tree is kind of right where the power goes down to the,
I don't know how deep those
water plant.
pipes have to go in the ground.
I don't know, you may have.
Cement plant, right? Yeah.
Well, you're gonna end up, when they put the playground in, those guys got really upset with me because I kind of didn't tell them I was on ledge. And they have a problem putting
the footings in?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, one thought, there's a well, and that well's coming out.
no,
Sometime in the next year, that well's coming
there's
out.
3 wells, yeah.
And you can use that hole perhaps to
There's also,
put some cement in there around it.
They got something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and you can put the base in the cement, maybe. I don't know, you can look at it. I don't know what's involved.
what about the location by the pavilion?
the one down below?
I mean, it's down, yeah.
I wouldn't dare do it now.
Oh, not now, no, absolutely not. No, I'm gonna guess that this whole area right here is gonna get lopped off. Because they're gonna dig out this whole part to the north of the water area, and there's a potentially a contact trailer there. And so I bet you this whole area is just cordoned off. Yeah. Trust me, I thought about that, but yeah, I wanna stay clear away from them. Chris, Chris stepped away. Okay, so check for wiring, potentially put the base in the cement of the wells, cement in the base of the wells, and not in your flow area. So we've got some guidance. Okay, any other questions, concerns? Awesome. Moving on to the wastewater committee report. Just very quickly for everybody, we had a wastewater committee meeting and I had to step away early, but my responsibility is to work with Dennis and Tina to make sure that we know the capacities of the businesses. I have a list from Tina and I'm starting to get some numbers. And so we're having another wastewater meeting, I think in August. And so we will continue that conversation. If anybody wants more details about what was discussed, talk to Tina or talk to me. Ron was there as well. And so you can, you know, any of the committee members can provide you with information. So.
Yeah, I'll let them know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it written down on my calendar up there.
If you can just remind me to get that or check with Tina, I'll make sure I get that for you. Okay. Quick conversation to be had about the transfer station. There were some bathroom and shelter. There's some bathroom and some shelter concerns. The original conversation was that the bathroom was awful. And so I told them, hire Roto-Rooter and pump it out. And so they hired Roto-Rooter and they pumped it out. It was terrible in there. And Roto-Rooter not only pumped it out, but they cleaned it after they pumped it out, which was really nice of them to do. Did they cause a mess in there? I don't know, but they at least cleaned it out. So now Harold and crew are happy with the bathrooms and the restrooms that exist up there. I had floated the idea of, well, if this bathroom is a problem and we can't keep it clean, about getting a porta potty up there year round, which they were enthusiastic about, but there is a cost to that. And it may be prohibitive.
That's
to us.
why we had that one made
Right,
years ago when I was supervisor.
Yes.
Tony Stoker made it, I helped him. with it.
yeah. So
And it's one shot cost and it's paid for and it works.
I agree with you, yeah. So I'm going to encourage them to keep cleaning it and, you know, pump it out once a year, pump it out twice a year, once every 2 years, whatever is
What
necessary.
they need to do is
Yeah.
periodically put some water in there. Get dry, it stacks up in one
But
spot.
they don't get water, they don't have water, that's the problem. They would have to work with the fire department, or, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
they would have to
It's
coordinate.
doable,
Okay,
it's
Okay.
doable.
Another thing they could do there is once we put a bunch of line in,
okay,
because line will leak that.
okay. Okay. The second
They
question,
had something they caught water running off the roof or something put in there that solved their problem.
okay, it does seem
It
pretty,
doesn't take a lot.
it does seem somewhat primitive for employees of our organization. So I want to make sure that they're
I
taken
like
care
primitive.
of. I want to make sure that they're taken care of just like we take care of anybody else who works in this organization. The other concern that I have is that the shelter, that little shack that they have can't fit 3 people in it. When we have 3 people working, it can fit 1 person. It can, when we don't have coronavirus, it can fit 2 people in there, but it's not even possible to fit 3 people in there. Are they sitting down much? I don't know, but it can't fit 3 people. And we generally have 3 people who are working up there, which tells me that that is an inadequate workspace for our employees. And so I had the brainstorm of extending it out toward the toilet, toward that bathroom. Do you have any interest in me finding out what that might cost and or look like to make that shack? I hate to call it a shack.
You're talking about going this way to that?
Towards the outhouse.
Yeah, so the problem with that is that all the electrical's on that way. So I don't know, I'm trying, I get that, and I want to find, I'm not
Only
saying
if
take
you
the,
dig down, if you put it on a stone or a brick or,
But they're all on the wall.
but here's the deal, I'm not saying take down the wall. I'm just saying build another room onto the other side of the wall. Now, I don't know what the code implications are of that. I'm not saying take down that wall and make it one big room.
no, don't do
I
that.
don't want to do that. I'm just saying, can we add another room onto that shed so that they can at least have some cover when they're not working? Because right now, they can't sit down 3 of them in that same place. And so I respect highly that electrical issue because that's a big deal. And I don't want to move that. It's going to cost buckets of money. But to build another 6 feet out or 8 feet out toward that toilet could be potentially feasible and could be potentially done by local people for a good cost.
Yeah, but you don't need a foundation in, you just gotta sit.
And just got to sit there.
Now,
Yes.
you have to make a decision. Is this gonna be just a roof or a total enclosure?
I think it should
Are you
be.
gonna heat it? Are you gonna air condition it? Are you gonna do this? You
So,
gotta decide what you want.
So,
because the
I can-
price will be.
so my vision is for it to mimic what they're doing already on what's established. So what they have currently established is it's heated with probably electrical heater. There's no air conditioning. They have a fan in the window. So whatever we extend out would be an enclosed area with windows and a door. And it would have all the accoutrements of what the other side has as well.
The other side has heat.
It has what?
The other side has electric.
It has electric heat built into the building?
I don't know.
Or do they have an electric heater?
I don't know.
Let's see it go on the wall.
I think you're right.
Most of the year we have 3 people.
So we're gonna have 3 people, most likely, yeah, May,
It
June.
should be June, July, and August. That's what it should be,
Uh-huh.
right? I mean, that's.
So there's the area of, they could have, almost like a shed roof, so it's almost like a lean-to area. So if the person is covered from the sun and heat, it doesn't need to have all 3 walls. But if the roof
Because they're lean to,
Yeah.
And they're gonna be using it in the winter because there won't be 3 people there.
That's a fair statement. That's a fair statement.
So that makes it simpler and cheaper.
Okay. Do you want me to look at the lean-to option?
I would think, I can't see adding any more stuff up there. We need all kinds of things up there. And let's face it, all that money has to come out of the transfer.
That's correct.
And I mean, I don't know.
It is well
I don't know
funded.
where we stand right
It
now.
is well funded.
You say that,
well
but what are
funded.
you talking about well funded? Are you talking about?
$100,000.
Right, that is reserved. You can spend all your reserve if you want to.
Yeah.
But I think that you make a mistake if you use all your fund balance or all your reserve.
No, the money that I'm talking about, that, because that's a they keep that revenue stays for the transfer station. So that doesn't come out of any of our budgeted lines, because so money that comes in goes right back to that. And so they've built up that coffer for expenses that they have there. So any expenses that would go on this would come out of that there. And I'm looking to build a lean-to, not a Taj Mahal. You know, I'm looking to cover and
No, I
protect.
I have no
the
problem.
employees.
I think that they need to be protected. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to say that. But I think that especially now, you know how I am with money.
I understand that, yeah.
I tell you, I'm really, really concerned listening to the governor. I turned him off, but, you know, listening to him and some of his projections, we're going to be faced with big school budgets and, you know, did we get CHIPS money yet, Brad?
Well, well,
Yeah, I'd like to keep us on track here.
Okay.
I can find out how much the transfer station has that would be potentially available to fund this project. And I can also find out how much it would be to actually.
Figures before.
How much the project,
Before I go into budget.
100%. I totally get that.
I just worry about us, you know, oh, well, everything is wonderful, but I worry, and I know where that 125,000 came from, because it was put in the general fund, and then it was taken back out.
That's a higher number than I thought it was. So I can't speak to that.
I know.
I'd have to ask Angel.
I know.
Yeah.
Where it is. All right, if we were talking about the transfer station, I have a person ask me,
Can we hold on 1 second? What do you want me to do with this before we pivot to anything else?
We don't have to make any decision, let's table it.
But well,
all right, the transfer station happened, as far as I'm concerned, I would like to see cost.
I don't want to change the bathroom. I'm taking that off the table.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I'm okay with them cleaning it, the lime and better maintenance and things like that. I think that's the reason why you put it in, right? You're not spending money. That's smart.
Correct.
That's
Why we
totally
did
smart.
it one shot and that's it.
Absolutely. I want to talk about a shelter. Are you okay with me investigating what it would cost to create a shelter up there so that we can, in the times where we have 3 people, can take care of our employees and provide them a shelter when they are not physically actively working?
I would support parents, yeah, I'll leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's 2. Do you support that?
No.
Okay, Chris, how about you? I hope you've heard what we've said. Do you support the idea of us investigating the creation of a lean-to?
Yeah, I heard the gist of it. I think it sounds like a great idea to explore it.
Okay, I will explore it. You want to bring up something about the transfer station?
Well, I had a person, people call me and ask me all these questions. Anyway, when you picked up all the trash,
Yes,
you took it to the dump,
yes,
it came from county property.
correct.
So, since we have to send that to the county and we pay, I think it was over 3,000 last month.
That's correct.
How much did that cost the town of Essex?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Because I think that bill should go to the county. That's county property there.
That's correct.
And I mean, I just have, I don't have a problem with us cleaning up the town of Essex. But I just have a little bit of a problem with us going on other people's property. Whether it be the county or my property or your parents' property or whatever. I mean, I got a whole bunch of stuff I could have the town clean up, but that isn't what I think we need to do.
Understood. Yeah,
The county should pay for that.
I'm happy to
Came
talk.
off the county property.
It did, absolutely. And I did not keep track of that. And I will bear full responsibility for that. I'm happy to talk to Dan Manning and have a conversation, or Jim Dugan, and have conversations with both of them about, is it possible for them to extend some sort of discount to us? I could show them the pictures, because I did take pictures of what I hauled, and say, can you estimate for us?
This is an ongoing thing. The reason they put the sign up, Brad can probably tell you more about it. The reason they put the sign up, county, was because people have been coming there for years.
Correct.
And I'm not
Go
saying-
back to the war.
Sure.
Well, actually, when Bush was collecting bottles, old bottles, we went up there. So old bottles were there. So I
Right.
mean, I'm not saying we shouldn't clean it up, I'm just saying we shouldn't have to pay for somebody else. That's all.
Understood.
Or if you have somebody name that
We did,
dump there,
we did find that out.
then perhaps that person should also be, I don't think the town should pay for that. That's what I'm boiling it all down.
I understand. I understand that. I understand that. Did you have something to say, Chris?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. Oh, no, sorry. I thought you said if asked me if I was good with everything.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
I can share the pictures with Jim Dugan and Dan Palmer, the county manager, and ask them for a discount on what we threw away. And hope that we can get that. And in the future,
You can guesstimate pretty.
yeah. And in the future, if there's future dumping, Bradley's done a great job of putting up no dumping signs up there. I've alerted the DEC and the state police that there's been some dumping up there, and they're checking it out. I'm hoping a little bit more. I'm not there to confirm that, but I just don't like garbage in my woods, and I'm not gonna wait for somebody to do something about it. You know, I mean, when you think about it, the taxpayers, yes, they ultimately did pay for it. I think it was probably pennies on the dollar for what they actually paid for. If you really go to that point. But your point is well made and understood, and I will talk with the county to see what we can do to mitigate that in a future bill.
Okay, I just don't want to pay for the county. Then I realize the county is all of us.
Yeah, understood. Understood. Anything else you want to bring up about transfer station?
I don't think so.
Okay. Anything else? Everyone good? Okay. Let's move on to the.
One
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
just curiosity.
Yes, sir.
And I don't remember in our policy whether we have it or not. But I know the county has a policy. You can be out sick, injured, whatever, for only so long, and then your job is gone. You can't sit there and be on the payroll forever and never work.
Okay.
And the one person from Essex that was faced with that situation lost his job.
Okay.
So I don't know if we have anything like that. I don't know what the number for the county is. But Jeremy ain't been there in a long, long time. So I mean, I like Jeremy, don't
that's your
get this
angle.
wrong. But if he's not able to work, then
Well, he's not able to work, not because he doesn't want to work. He's not able to work because of a medical issue that's preventing him from working.
yeah,
So that's the difference.
no, that was the same thing at the county.
Yeah.
Exact same situation.
Yeah.
And they have so many weeks, months, whatever it is. And once you get to that number, then that's it.
I don't think we have a policy.
I don't remember being there, but it might be worth just checking what their numbers are.
Well, he basically is not getting paid from the town.
He's not getting paid for when he doesn't work. No, he's not he's an hourly employee. Yeah, he's an hourly
Is he
employee.
now on disability?
No,
Not now.
no. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I just- He can't get workman's comp because he didn't go to work.
Correct. These are his own issues.
So are we doing unemployment?
No,
Okay.
no, we are free and clear.
Okay.
But I will check out that number.
Just something,
Sure,
when we get to a personnel thing, next month or the month after.
sure. Okay, moving on to letter K. The picture is you all know about the small lake that we have at the end of the Echo parking lot in our right of way. And it's cropped up after every heavy rain. It hasn't really properly been dealt with, in my opinion. This picture is from this past winter. And I was talking with Bradley about it on one of our daily visits. And he said that he probably could see that repaired for a couple days worth of effort. And
Yeah, no, that's that this morning.
Yep.
That's not much.
Okay. Describe a little bit in terms of money and time.
He's got the drainage pipe.
I got a whole pipe at the shop. I got.
So it's just some labor and stone.
You're probably talking.
I would like this river to not be there anymore.
Only thing I told Ken, I want the board's permission because we don't own it. We only have it right away.
How deep are you gonna have to go?
And just going
Because my
towards the
wastewater
library.
line isn't that deep to begin with there.
Yeah, but it's gonna be right along that concrete wall.
Yeah, and I've already talked to Echo and they're fine with it.
It's not what we
Yeah, I've talked to Echo. I don't want a puddle. It's terrible customer service when people come off that ferry and there's a puddle there and you can't walk through it. It's just awful. It looks awful. It's terrible. And if we have the ability and the expertise and the energy to get it done for just a couple $100, I really think it is in our interest to spend that money.
Well, one thing I won't know.
No,
I
please,
won't know what I can do there until I have a UFO to see what I got.
that's fine.
Right.
That's fine.
And what you got for ledge?
What I got for that. I looked at that this morning. It's funny. I got the place job, I got everything I need.
You gonna put a grate in or
Stone it.
just
I'll
don't?
put a pipe, I'll stone it on the bottom, I'll put pipe in and I'll wrap the stone and everything with the block.
Yep,
So that I don't pursue it. And we only gotta go
30 feet.
5 feet up into that blacktop.
Yeah, it cannot go directly into
We can
the,
get rid of it.
can't go directly into the brook.
No. and that's-
We need a
this
speedy
way
permit
here
for
is
that.
gonna disperse out before it gets to the brook. It's not.
Okay. So Bradley French, Chris, if you can hear, Bradley French thinks it can be done for a real song. He's got all the parts, utilities, everything. He's got some research to do related to dig safe and the ledge and things with Tina, but he thinks it can be done, and I'm supportive of that. Does anybody have a question or concern?
No, I think it's great.
Ron supports this. Claire, how do you feel about this?
Fine.
Great. Aaron?
Is that, I just want to ask, is that pipe the one that has the holes in with drainage?
Yes.
That's great.
It's scheduled.
Chris, how do you feel about this?
I think it's great. I think it's long overdue, and I've personally dealt with that icy puddle and slushy stuff in the wintertime. So I'm happy to hear that there may be a solution. It sounds great.
Great.
Would have got that grant last year, it's been done already.
It would have, but that's
We
okay.
didn't get it.
We'll do this. We'll do this. It'll be great. Awesome. Okay, thank you all very, very much. Moving on to old business. A lot happened today. In the past 5 hours, I cannot tell you how much new stuff I was able to support with this agenda. So first of all, for the library foundation repair, I actually received a proposal today, which is great news. My recommendation, I have another gentleman who's interested in submitting a proposal as well. So my recommendation is that we hold on the proposal that I received. I will call the other gentleman back and say, we've received a proposal. If you wish to submit a competing proposal, please do so. The town board will deliberate at the July meeting and we will make a decision, most likely at the July meeting for the repair
That'll
of the
be the
foundation.
time to do it.
Yeah, it's super
That's when
low
the
right now.
water level's low.
Yep.
July and August.
So if any of you are interested in seeing that proposal, I'm happy to share it with you.
I'd rather wait till both.
Yeah, I think that's probably the wise thing to do.
I know if you say something by mistake.
Understood.
it's back.
Understood. So that's that. So we'll take that up in July for final, hopefully a final decision. Library sidewalk. This isn't really us, but because it's our building and our sidewalk, I wanted to make sure you're all aware of this. This is just purely FYI. There was an accident where a car hit the corner of the library brook stone wall, missing the library by about 5 feet, not even. There was damage that the library incurred on the sidewalk and to one of their signs. The library submitted a claim and they got a pressure washer to clean up the sidewalk, and they got the check. And actually in the bills, you'll see a check from Progressive. You probably saw a check from Progressive. That check was written to us. We will then reissue a new check to the Belden Mill Memorial Library and to reimburse them for the expenses that they had. So that's just purely FYI.
No, it's great. I'm glad it's cleaned up.
I agree. Yeah,
I'm glad it wasn't more damage.
I agree too.
Claire, were you here when Frankie drove off there with his truck and ended up in the brook? That wall prevented that.
It's a solid wall. Okay, letter C. This is a big deal. Lakes to locks timeline. I have had I called Jim LaForest and I said, Jim, where are we at with this? And he said, well, you got to call Janet Kennedy. So I said, okay, I'll call Janet Kennedy. Let me take this off your plate. You got bigger things to do. Let me take this. So I called Janet Kennedy last week, nothing. I called Janet Kennedy today. She called me right back. And she said, we're working on it right now. We've been kind of laid off and be kind of hanging tight. So the graphic designer, she said, Brandon is working on it, began working on it today, and she's going to call me next week or the week after. She said that we received from a Roost from $5,000 that we got from Roost. So we should have that money already in our coffers. So I told her that was okay, that we've cleared all that, and she's going to be back to me in a couple of weeks to be able to show us the proof, make sure the picture's okay, make sure the wording is okay, and then we're going to move along on that. So, okay.
Originally, it was gonna go,
I hope it is too. I don't give up. I call and call and call and call until I get what I want.
originally it was gonna go from the porch north
Okay.
on the side of the building.
Well, that's got to change now.
Assuming we get a porch,
Right. Oh, no, assume. Right.
then that won't be the spot to go.
Oh, Ron, she's saying it was going to go east-west.
Okay,
On the north side of the building, it wasn't gonna go on the front.
well, I thought it was on the front, I'm sorry. Good, thanks for that clarification.
People going by on Route 22.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, absolutely.
I like that a lot better.
Well, when we get it, we can, when we get the timeline, we can deliberate and get it in the right spot. Letter D, Essex One LLC lawsuit update. This is a document that was provided to I actually asked Jim Dugan for a recommendation on a fencing company, and he recommended C&E fencing. Yep, C&E. So I'm looking to work with them to get the fencing taken care of. That would be paid for out of the transfer station. So we have until December 31st to get that torn out and replaced.
And we're talking about putting up a pole, so we could put a light to light up that area. So just, there's an outlet there, we could plug in a portable light, hang it there, whatever. Something better than nothing.
I will need some guidance on where I can get a pole. So,
The fence people can put it.
oh, can they? Okay. Oh, good to know. Oh, great.
All they need is 7 foot up. Or 8
Oh,
foot.
okay, great. Okay, I'll work with them on that.
The fence post, it's a long fence post.
Okay, I was thinking it was a utility pole.
No,
Okay,
nothing
great.
like that.
Okay, see, that's why I'm glad I asked.
Simple.
I like that.
While you're on a safety issue on that gate needs to.
Which gate?
The main gate that they open, that orange
Yep.
gate,
Oh, to come into the transfer station.
yeah. When it's, sometimes they were started pushing it back farther. Because when they don't push it back all the way, it's right on the edge of the road.
Okay.
When it's open, and you can't even see it.
We need to cut some brush there. or
And I'm
something.
afraid somebody's gonna drive right into it.
We should either paint
They
it.
were opening it all even
Yeah.
further, pushing it back, and they're not doing it again.
I wonder if there's like a clip that we can hang it to something, clip it to something, bungee cord it so that it stays back.
So when you're driving back
Right.
out,
Yeah, it's not staring at you coming in.
Okay.
Oh, great, okay.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then fasten it with the ones according to that.
Okay, yeah,
vehicle,
that's super
somebody's
smart.
car.
That's super smart.
I like that idea.
I like that very much. Thank you, Bradley. Okay, and just the Essex Community Fund grant has been submitted for the solar, for the solar radar signs, and we're waiting to hear back from them. So Yeah. And another humongous moment, letter G. This is a brand new item, letter G. For Ron, you'll appreciate this. For a long time, we have been dealing with malfunctioning solar panels at the wastewater treatment plant.
Forever, since it was built.
I have been in contact. I called Tina, and I got together in like January 3rd when I first took office to say, Tina, what is not working for you? What do we need to fix? Solar panels. That was one of the big issues she wanted me to pay attention to. I've been calling this company weekly since January. And finally today, actually I got him right before COVID-19, March 11th, I talked to him, and then everything went away and I lost him, and I got him back today, and he's coming to the wastewater treatment plant on Monday, whatever day it was. He said he's got to go to Port Henry. So I had a meeting with him at 10 o'clock on the date of the pre-bid. So pre-bid's at 10, I'm meeting with him at 11, excuse me, to talk about fixing those solar panels. So
If you cannot fix them without spending a ton of money so it tracks the sun.
Yep.
If you just get it where we can adjust the attitude.
Yep.
Every month and the face is dead south.
Yep.
A lot better than what we got.
Absolutely.
Rather than spend a ton of money. I know that's not how it was designed.
Nope.
Well, like I said, you could give us one of those handheld.
Yep.
That's all you need.
That's all I want. I don't want this. I really just want this to be working for us and for a long time, and not have to worry about anybody else. So that's a big win.
That's a good thing.
That's a big win. Okay, moving on to policies. I wanted to share with you, I have really enjoyed this process related to the drone. And I want to share with you hold on a second here. 1, 2, yeah, I don't know if I handed this out to you. This is a new one. Ignore that. I just updated this because I've had some conversations with some people in the past, actually in the past 24, 48 hours. I'll make sure you get a copy. The concern around privacy is a big deal, as it should be, okay? I want to let everybody know that I have heard from several town council members. I have heard from several members of the public via a form that was on the website. I have heard directly from people in direct conversations and phone calls and emails, okay? There is actually, as part of this conversation, I believe you saw it on email, but Pat and Ed Gardner submitted a public comment related to, I want to make sure I have a physical copy of this. Pat and Ed Gardner submitted a public comment of concern, and I also responded to that public comment of concern. So you'll see both their email and my response to that email. I just updated the policy to actually make it more restrictive, better privacy with related to how it is operated. And I want to talk to you about what those changes are very quickly. First of all, liability. I have talked to our insurance agents, Upstate Insurance, who has informed me that it would cost the town $275 to operate this drone for $1 million worth of coverage. That doesn't cover the drone itself. It covers any damage the drone creates. So per year. So if it crashes into the side of a house or it crashes into something of value, the $275 that we pay for insurance would cover any issues related to that. There is also another option. There's actually an app that you can download called Verifly. Verifly provides you with $1 million worth of coverage for a per flight. So you pay $15 or $25 per flight. The value of the flight depends on the location. So if you're flying in a populated area like we are here, you're going to pay more because there's more opportunity to screw up. If you're going to fly it out on Cook Road or Leaning Road or Daniels Road, there's not much opportunity to screw up out there. You're going to run into a tree before you run anything else. So it's less expensive. Those are two options that this policy, that this drone policy could cover. I want to also share that there were concerns about flora and fauna, animals, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I added in here, I want to make sure that the drone flight will not fly within 100 feet of any sensitive species of nesting or denning animals, nor will it fly, it will not harass wildlife, and it will not cause any problems to birds and bats. But this is the most important part that I added today that I think is really, really important. I absolutely take seriously the concerns related to privacy. And I want to read this out loud so everybody in the audience can hear this, and we all, because this was just crafted by myself today. This is section number 11. The town of Essex fully respects the privacy of its citizens. The use of a drone is in no way intended to infringe upon those rights afforded to us. The United States Constitution implicitly grants a right to privacy against government intrusion from the First, Third, Fourth, and Fifth Amendment. Any Essex property owner who wishes to maintain their privacy has the right to do so. The town of Essex, upon any individual property owner's request, will establish that property as a red zone property, which indicates to the operator of the drone that the drone may never, except in case of an emergency which imperils the life of the operator or imperils the functionality of the drone itself, it may never fly over that red zone property at any altitude. The property may be visible from an indirect angle, no different than that of any other airborne machine or marine watercraft. So for example, we'll use Tina Gardner's, we'll use her property. She has a large property, she has animals on her property. If she said, Ken, I don't want that drone ever over my property, that property would then be established as a red zone property, which means the drone would never be allowed to fly above, directly above it, okay? However, if Tina asked me to fly the drone near the water tower because she wanted to get some kind of visual inspection of something high up, well, her property potentially would be in the background of that video or of those still images. So there's nothing direct. I want to make sure people understand there's nothing direct with any of this. I also want to make sure I'm very clear in my vision. This is not about Aaron Hall's house or Clara Lepine's house or Ron Jackson's sugar shack or my house. It is about broad sweeping views of Essex as it is connected to the lake or to the mountains. I'm looking for large macro, wide angle landscape scenes, never with anything direct. If I needed something direct or wanted something direct, I would ask permission first before I actually went there. I hope you all had a chance to see the video that I shared, the link. That is an example of the kind of videography I'm looking for. I do not care about people's backyards. That is not my place. That is not our place. I don't care about that. That is not part of the marketing of our town. What is part of the marketing of our town is its beauty vis-a-vis or juxtaposed to the lake and to the mountains and to the farm fields. That's what I'm looking to capture with the drone. This is the drone right here. I don't know if you've seen it before, but I felt that if we had it, it's worth showing you. This is the size of the drone. And this is the camera right here. It can go 180 as well as 180 this way. It can gimbal around. So it's not a super large drone, okay? And it's controlled by this right here. So the operator is able to take their cell phone, because there's an app, and you put your cell phone in and you control it. You can see what the camera sees on your phone, and you control it like this, okay? So I just wanted
Where
to...
do you record it? Your phone?
That's a great, no, it does not get recorded to the phone. It gets recorded, I'm glad you asked, to this.
Okay.
This goes in to this, right there. It gets put into the side of the drone right there, and the recording goes onto this chip.
Okay.
And then you can take this chip and put it in a larger SD card envelope. Yeah. And then that would go into a computer that had iMovie or some other type of video processing software to take those images and manipulate them. Okay, that's how that would work. So I wanted to just let you know that I did make some updates to the policy that were more restrictive. They were more restrictive than the policy copy that I provided you before you came to the meeting today that you had. And so I just want to be very clear of the fact that I want to see other people trained to do this. This is not just about Ken Hughes using this drone. This is about getting other people who are interested in flying, who may be interested in helping us develop marketing videos or marketing images that we can use on our website, or potential pamphlets or brochures that we send to Roost or the North Country Chamber, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's my pitch. And I really appreciate the feedback from everybody in the community, as well as the town board members, as I've received a lot of constructive criticism, which I think is very, very healthy. And I see this as an amazing tool that I think we can really start very slowly with and get used to it as we introduce it to our community. So that being said, I would like to know if there are any questions or concerns that still linger. Modifications to the draft, because I'm hoping that we can bring it to a vote tonight.
We've done a lot of work on it. The thing that, in my opinion, that was the only drone in the town of Essex.
Yep.
And yes, well, maybe if we didn't have it, then we won't. But there's other people with drones in the community.
That is true.
And they have no restrictions. They do whatever they want with it. So what we do, trying to provide privacy, is above and beyond what anybody else is doing.
We have an obligation.
I agree.
Yeah.
But if we said, no, we don't want it, well, you're not going to stop drones. There's still going to be drones. It's just there'll be drones around that have absolutely no restrictions on them, basically, other than the FCC restrictions. So
Correct.
I think what you've done is create a pretty good document, and it's a compromise. Everything's a compromise. But if we say we don't want the drone, you're still going to have drones in Essex. That's not going to stop them.
Well, I agree with you. It's not going to stop. But I personally do not want the responsibility of this drone. Now, I read this, and I appreciate the fact that you have spent a lot of time and effort and energy. I think it's a fairly good document. But I thought to myself, looking back at when I was teaching second grade, okay? So in social studies, we talked about two things. We talked about more than two, but needs and wants, okay? In my humble opinion, do we need this drone? Well, I look at the four proposals. For public safety, I don't think we need it, because as I read here, and I realized that you wrote that we would aid the fire department if asked. I understand that. But I also think that I just don't see the need for that. Historic documentation, we've had a lot of documentation. If there's something brand new, I think that, we could have somebody do it. As far as marketing, I don't have a good sense exactly what you want here. But I do know that Roost has several of these, what do you call it, movies, whatever you call it.
Promotional videos?
Okay.
Okay.
Roost has some that they have taken over Essex. And I think marketing is important. And I put a lot of thought into this because, Gary and I were talking about the old days out here.
Yeah, that was great.
And that's fine. But you see, and I have to realize we're living in an entirely different time. For example, my microwave went. Instead of going to a bricks and mortar store, I ordered online.
Yeah.
When I do my material, I order online. Where, and of course, I realize part of it's because I'm old and I don't like to travel.
I don't think it's to be old not to like to travel.
The thing is, everything has changed. It used to be that our whole town everybody lived here year round.
Mhm.
Now, I mean, what do we have for population in the winter?
500?
Oh, I don't know, I thought that was big, but anyway, it doesn't matter. We had many young people. But, and it's not unique to us. I mean, this is my perspective.
Correct.
It's not unique to us. I mean, let's face it, the brick and mortar stores are going out, not just in Essex. So I don't know. I know what we have in Essex. I know what I would like to see in Essex. I don't, unfortunately, I don't think we want to go. So in my humble opinion, to make everything short, I'm not in favor of the town having to. And those, but whatever.
Aaron or Chris, you would like to offer a thought, or you don't have to, but is there any further conversation or discussion?
Yeah.
Go ahead, the floor is yours.
Okay, so I'm curious about we heard your whole marketing pitch and I get all that, and that's great. I'm curious, and not to put anyone on the spot, but I'm curious if Bradley or Tina can see any any use for the drone inspecting, the building at the highway department or the water tower or such things. I've seen people doing that, and I get the application. So I wonder if that would be something they would find the drone useful for, or not really. What do they think?
Probably not on my end. Only thing I could see is every year if we did have a massive flood or something, they might help us in some of the remote places that I could find out what I had.
Bradley's talking about massive flooding potential, seeing things that he couldn't normally see because he couldn't get to those places.
That's probably the only time I would.
You think that's probably the only time that you would ever use it?
I gotta have a physical inspection from a company to do the water tower.
Team that does a physical
With.
inspection.
One thing that makes me nervous is to sell stuff on the
Yep.
water tower,
Yep.
about getting near that or
Yep.
something with the drone. But I gotta hire out, Department of Health requires a company that actually inspects the tower themselves. So
Understood.
even me inspecting it,
Yeah. I'm not saying it would supplant.
Department of Health.
I'm not saying it would supplant that at all. It
Yeah.
could supplement potentially, but not supplant.
You never know. You could someday need it. You don't know.
Yeah. Did you hear all that? She said, you might need it. She doesn't
Yeah,
know.
I think I got the gist of all that.
Okay.
I think that if we were discussing whether or not we were going to go spend $4,000 or $5,000 on a nice little drone system for the town, I think that would be a different discussion. But this is something that has it stirred up lots of discussion because it's just fallen into the lap of the town, and I think it's really good that we're taking a good look from all views on the drone, and so I can see a lot of possibility as far as the whole marketing thing. But my concerns, I've had people coming to me expressing concern about privacy. And I overall, I like what you've got written here, Ken. But I know that that's a big concern. So the whole privacy thing, and people have been startled to see drones flying over their homes in the hamlet, not out in the sticks or out in District 2. Talking about downtown in the hamlet, people have been startled by drones flying overhead. And so how would the town notify people ahead of time? Is like filing a sort of a flight plan to say, hey, we're going to fly a drone session from noon to 1 p.m. and here's where it's going to go and here's why we're doing it.
Yeah.
How would we do that?
As part of the policy, I wrote that notification will be provided via social media and Town of Essex website. And I also would probably add the alert system. I would be happy to send a text message out to people on the alert system. In addition to the social media, not everyone's on social media. Not everyone thinks to check the website. Getting a push notification on your cell phone to say, yeah, tomorrow between the hours of 2 and 4, the drone is planning to be flown in this area for this purpose. And we could also, I talked about a sandwich board being on display to alert the people that the drone is being flown around near the operator. So, and we would only fly from town property. We would not be on anybody's private property. So we would only, the operator would only be on public property, flying the drone from that area. So I would like to think that 24, 48 hours worth of notice would be acceptable for making people aware of what's going on.
Cool. I think that sounds good.
Okay.
How, I mean, I don't know, I know you don't have a crystal ball, Ken, but how often are you envisioning flying the drone? I mean,
well, I think that, from the marketing perspective, I think there's beauty in Essex all year long. So I could see the drone being flown maybe three times a season. So, 3 times in the summer to get summer images, 3 times in the winter to get some winter shots, in the fall, in the spring. So I'm thinking maybe 12 times a year, and not just in the hamlet. It could be in other parts of Essex as well. I want to make sure people know about all of Essex, not just the historic hamlet. There's beauty in Waylandsburg. There's beauty on Jersey Street with agriculture out there, and certainly people have the right to say, no, you can't fly over our place, and we'll make note of that and we'll honor that. So I'm thinking maybe 12 times a year.
okay, that sounds good. And I don't mean to beat a dead horse. It's just I know the common thread I've heard from people is the privacy issue. Just somebody said to me, we didn't move to Essex to hear drones flying around,
Yeah.
and I get that. So, and yet, like Ron said, there are drones in town. I witnessed with my own eyes a situation about 2 months ago where 2 young guys were flying a drone right in front of town hall in broad daylight with cars driving by. And Craig Jackson had to do, I alerted him, and he knew the guys and he dealt with it. But so I think as long as I think I can get behind this as long as there's, some really strong guidance in this document. It looks good to me, filing a flight plan sort of thing and just letting people know ahead of time so people are not startled and not and I'm glad to hear you say it's not going to be a weekly thing. 12 times a year, we can live with that.
No, absolutely not. Yeah. And I would also say that the town board, if they pass this, reserves the right to ground the drone. If you get enough complaints and you think if the town board feels like it's just not working out the way it should, we ground the drone and we pick it up in a year from now. We can do that too. We reserve the right as a town board to control the use of this drone.
The other thing too, Ken, and we spoke about this earlier today, the storage of lithium polymer batteries, the LiPo batteries that power that thing, unless things have dramatically, progressed as far as technology, 5 or 6 years ago when I was flying RC, those things were considered pretty volatile, and the storage was key for safety, and they can be flammable, and I've seen them catch fire. So I would say we'd have to look into how the batteries are going to be stored as well. They 5 years ago, LiPo batteries were pretty volatile. So
right now the batteries are being stored in town hall here. We have 3 smart batteries, and they're in a smart battery charger that was purchased as part of the donation, by the manufacturer. So it's the manufacturer. The people who make the drone made this battery charger, and it is a smart battery charger. So it only keeps the batteries charged at 50%. Now, to Chris's point, if there's a better way to charge those batteries by not having them actively charging, because we want to make sure the batteries will last a long time, I'm happy to do that research to make sure that the batteries are stored off-site or in a container of some kind that is appropriate for LiPo batteries, or whatever, or we continue to do what we're doing right now. That is not difficult to do. But a very good point, because we don't want any explosions while they're storing.
Cool. Well, that's pretty much what I've got.
Okay, Aaron.
I was just gonna say, I think reading over the document, and I know I had sent in edits, I think you locked it down pretty well. Meaning, I do appreciate the red zones. I think the people that I've spoken to, it's almost a bigger discussion that people are concerned about drones in town.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I think our drone is a very generous gift. And I'll be curious in 2 years if you're even, like, you might have the footage you need. I mean,
Yeah.
and I know the Coast Guard has their own, the Parks has their own, so we don't necessarily need to help. I mean, of course.
Oh, I didn't know
figure it
that.
out.
Oh, I understand, okay.
So we would obviously offer our help, but I think it could be useful for marketing. Many neighboring towns also have drones. It's been helpful for them. But you have locked it down to the point that people really have to jump through hoops to actually learn how to use it.
Yeah,
So
I don't want it to be
it's
easy.
not easy.
I don't want it to be easy.
Exactly, which I think is good. So, again, and what Chris was saying, if this was like a $5,000 package of getting a drone, I think we'd be having a different discussion. But we do have it. I consider it a tool that can be useful. And perhaps the battery storage is a good point. But I think and people can come forward. Like the entire town could come forward and say,
They could.
so.
Absolutely.
So, and I think that's a really good point. And again, I don't know how much we'll end up using it, but I think it's a tool that we shouldn't give that. That's my.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think somewhere along the line, my idea of marketing is different than others. Your purpose of marketing is to show people the beauty of Essex.
Correct.
So you want people to come here to enjoy our roads and so forth and so on.
That's part of it, yeah.
So if these people come here, and I live right there on Route 22, and I see people doing. So we encourage people to come here. Now, right now, what do we have to offer? We have some farms, which are wonderful. We have the Hub on the Hill, which is also wonderful. We have Aaron, who does this. We have Emily up here, who does this. But I don't travel that much anymore. But when I travel, I want a place where I can get gas. We don't have a place where you get gas.
Right.
I want a place where I can stop and get maybe an ice cream cone, maybe a cup of coffee. Now, it's wonderful that Deb is open, and I don't know about the ice cream. Is that going to be open this year? Yeah. I don't know. But anyway, I just think that it's great that we have this beautiful place, but I'm wondering what beside our beauty do we have to offer them? I mean, my idea of marketing probably isn't the correct one. I don't know. So maybe you can explain to me your vision or your idea of marketing. I think I'm missing something.
That's okay, and that's a really fair question. And I think that I summed it up in my response to Pat Gardner's email to me. And so I said, I'd just like to read parts of that. I just want to say, let me be clear about my purpose for encouraging drone usage in Essex. And this is related to that marketing, because that really is the big concern from my office. And certainly Ron can speak to this, I think, because it's in the supervisor's office where we hear the complaints about it's too expensive. We don't have young families coming here. We don't have any business downtown, except it's not like the good old days where we did, right? I feel I have a direct daily responsibility to feel, I feel like it's on my shoulders on a day-to-day as a mission to find ways that we can increase foot traffic, encourage small businesses to set up shop here, encourages small young families to want to move here. I get the fact that we don't have a gas station. I don't know if we're ever going to have a gas station, but I want to make sure that we have foot traffic longer than the 2 months that we get it, right? I want to make sure we have foot traffic as early into the spring and as late into the fall as we possibly can, and over the winter as well. And do I think the drone is going to solve all those problems? Absolutely not.
Well, no one thinks so.
No, of course.
No one.
But I feel like if we fail to plan, we're planning to fail. 21st century opportunity like this, and try and integrate it into a plan, into a strategy, which has yet to be developed. It has not been developed yet. I'm trying to lay the groundwork for that development. That we can actually make some headway. We have a unique situation here that towns like other towns in Essex County, Clinton County, Franklin County, Hamilton County don't have. We have a super highway of people coming from Vermont every day.
They go that way, and they go that way.
We don't give them a reason to go this way. There's zero reason for them to come this way. We have to create the reason for them to take a detour and encourage them to stop and smell the Essex roses. We are not doing that. And I don't believe, you've been on the board a long time, and correct me if I'm wrong. When's the last time this board had a conversation about marketing? Essex.
A couple of years ago, we met
Probably.
over at Harold's store with Jim McKenna, and people tried to get a group somewhat similar to
Essex
Essex
Initiative.
Initiative. That
You know, the other
was
thing,
the last time.
And that's a great attempt. I want to take up that, energy. I'm glad that that happened. I wasn't aware of that. I want to take that energy that you guys started.
There's quite a few people
Yeah,
there.
and I don't want it to die. I want to move it along.
But I will tell you this, there's people in your town that don't want anything developed.
I understand that. And there are
They're
people,
a sleepy little town that come and
that's
relax in the summer,
exactly what.
and they don't mind driving to Willsboro, Plattsburgh, or Burlington to do their shopping. The less going on, the happier they are. So there's both sides. There's
that-
people that
oh,
want
I get that. I get
and
that.
people that don't.
I get that.
There's both
I
sides.
get that.
But the other thing you have to look at, our zoning regs
Mhm,
are extremely strict.
mhm.
I mean, down here, we have overlay on top of overlay
Yeah.
on top of overlay. We make it almost impossible for, somebody to come in and, or say they want to buy the fireball,
Mhm.
whatever it's called now.
Yeah.
Say they want to buy that. Well, I know that there was an issue with water over
Mhm.
there. And, there are many, we just put all these roadblocks in the way. Now, I worked on the planning board and I didn't work on when they put all the overlays, map overlays.
Mhm.
But as I say, it's almost impossible, in my humble opinion, to do anything in this town, especially here in this hamlet,
We have a responsibility to change that.
I mean, really.
Yeah, we have a responsibility to
Everybody
change that.
has a business. I don't have a business, but I mean, I don't know if what I'm speaking is true or not.
And with all due respect, Erin, her business is in Westport, right?
My studios.
Her studio, she has to travel to Westport, right?
But I mean, but I don't know.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I hear what Ron's saying too, about how some people want it to be quiet. Well, right now it is. It is.
Mhm.
Everything's empty. The
There's
high
nothing.
stores we have are dead to dormant. So I feel like we could find a happy medium, and I feel like that's what comes after, not like, we're not getting a big strip anytime soon, and nobody
I don't
wants,
want that.
you know.
No way.
That's not what we want either, but again, going back, like, I just think this is a tool, and we'll see if it works. It might not even do it.
This is gonna sound crazy. I want Essex to be the way it was. I want more
You're not-
shops.
you're not gonna have
I want more
this.
shops. I want more stores. I want more brick and mortar. I want more small business. I want more kids walking on the streets, right? And I know that we're up against a much larger Adirondack conversation. I totally respect that. But I also feel like Essex is a gem in that in that entirety. And we have so many great assets that can encourage people to come to Essex and spend a little bit of money in places that we have open right now, which could potentially encourage more people to come. How do people see things? They see it on their phone. How do people see things? They go to YouTube. How do people see things? They check out a website or check out Instagram or check out Spot. They go there. They go to those Instagram. They go to those places, right? I don't know if you're on Instagram or Spotify or Facebook, those things. But but that's the way of the world right now. Yeah, and I'm of the generation that respects that
The other thing-
newness.
The other problem you have here is young people can't afford to live here.
I'm one of them.
Can't afford.
The supervisor of the town cannot afford to live in this town.
My grandson lives with me.
Mhm.
So you say, I said to Craig before he even came here, this is when they were living in Vermont.
Mhm.
I said to him, Craig, why do you come to Essex? He said, "Well, you're here."
Yeah,
He said there's nothing here. At that time, and he was used to the fact Pauline had the ice cream store. And I mean, you know, it was a whole different. We had kids playing ball on the street. We're not gonna have that now. You have to be realistic. I mean, you know, we had kids all over. We had a busload of kids from Essex that went to Hillsborough. We don't have to.
I disagree with that.
I would like them, but they're not coming back, so you might as well forget it.
See, that attitude, elected.
People who live once a year,
Mhm.
right? What do those people want? What do those people tell you they want?
I don't know.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
I've never asked them.
No.
Yeah, I've never asked.
It's a mixture.
Well, that's fine. I still say needs and wants, we don't need it, so no, I don't want it. How's that?
That's fine. That's okay. That's okay. That's why I brought this up for conversation. Absolutely. Is there any more discussion, Chris, Aaron, Ron?
Yeah, I'll be truthful, I can't get excited too much either way. I just can't. I don't think it's gonna do wonders, and I don't think it's gonna do horrible. If we say no, get rid of the drone, we haven't gotten rid of drones in Essex. And in the future, there's gonna be more drones, not less drones. Do I see where it's gonna help us an awful lot? I can't right now, but I remember when cell phones first came out, I had a bag phone when I was working down in SUNY Maritime, drive back and forth. I never used it anywhere except to call home. Hey, I'll be home in a half hour from mile marker 98. Did I envision that I'd be carrying this and I might as well cut my hand off? No.
Right.
So perhaps I'm wrong. Perhaps that will be more of an asset than I think it will be at this point. But I don't think it's a horrible thing. I can't see it as a huge negative. Well, I don't see it as a huge positive either, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you'll say, hey, look what we did, Ron. We got so-and-so built a new whatchamacallit, and then now we got the, you know, so I don't really object to it. And I don't think even if we didn't have it, you're not stopping drones. Drones are here. Drones are going to get more so. There's people make a living with drones and mapping this, mapping that, and doing the other thing. Bill McBride's son, Brian, that's what he sold the drive. That's what he does now. He operates drones. So you're not going to get rid of drones, even if we don't have that. At least with ours, there's some restrictions, and we're looking out for people's privacy somewhat. And so I don't object to it. I don't have a big problem. My biggest concern is the insurance. And if you're going to get insurance, I like the upstate because if you've got it and you've got it. The other one, you get up one morning and you forget to call, and then it flies into somebody's brand new Mercedes Benz. It runs into somebody's Jaguar going by. If you have the upstate, at least you're covered.
Right.
So I like, if we're going to do that, I would rather have the upstate.
I agree with that
It's
statement.
an automatic, and you renew it once a year. And it's certainly, it's an expense, but $275 is not a horrible expense.
And the paperwork I just gave you is the paperwork that Upstate gave me related to that. Is there any further conversation? Chris, anything to add? You're good? You're shaking your head?
No, yeah, I feel good. That's nice.
Can we take a vote on this? I guess this would be, how do we do this? Do we make a motion to, it's not a resolution.
To approve, should be a resolution. To
Okay.
approve the policy.
So okay, there's the resolution. Thank you. So a resolution will be number, what number is it going to be? Number 61, resolution 61, to approve the drone acceptable use policy based on the last edits of today at 6:19 p.m. I need a motion and a second, please.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Chris and Aaron. Okay. Any further discussion about the policy? I very much appreciate everyone's perspective on this, not just the town board members, but the community at large as well. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman LaFawn?
No,
Councilwoman Hall? Yes. Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Councilman Dickinson?
Yes.
And Supervisor Hughes?
Yes. Thank you all very, very much. The next policy that I would like to talk is actually not a policy, but an intermunicipal agreement. Hopefully this conversation is a little bit quicker than the drone one, because the conversation is not as not as controversial. I'd like to direct your attention to the very last 2 pages. This is the area where most of the edits were made. And there's one other edit I want to bring to your attention. So I worked with Harold and the town clerk, Alicia, to clean up this last page. So everything that you see on this last page, actually these last 2 pages right here, I apologize, it went over to 2x6 there, is currently what we're doing, okay? The one edit that I wanted to make a recommendation on is back on the very first page. All of this is boilerplate language between that we had from the previous agreement, which I think was 2000. I don't know when the previous agreement actually was. I have to take a look.
Way back.
It's way back. I would like us to, and this is in Willsborough's favor, not Essex's. I would like us to strike on the first page, the 4th whereas, letter B, is willing to fairly share in the cost of its operation and maintenance. And let me tell you why I feel that that should be struck from this. We collect the revenue on the transfer station. We do not share revenue with Willsborough at all. The only part that Willsborough participates in is selling our tickets for us and informing the public when it's closed or open. As well.
Let me make one comment on that.
Yes, go.
Ethics does not benefit either. We cannot take money from that transfer.
Oh, no.
That's
You're 100% correct.
So neither town is benefiting.
Financially, they're
The
right.
reason that was in there.
Yeah.
Is that when I took office the first time, we were operating in the red.
Okay.
And the one thing
Oh.
that made the difference, that turned it from red to black, was Pete Jake said, you know, George Moore is killing us, charging us for take away our scrap and then making money on it. There's this fellow from Canada that I met, has a junk business, he don't pay us to take it. And he didn't pay much, but that was enough to turn it around. But up until then, there were many years that operated in the red.
I did not
And
know.
both towns had to make up the difference
I did not know any of that.
proportionately.
Understood.
So that's why that was in
Okay.
there. Now, that was a long time ago, but
Yeah.
it doesn't mean it won't come back.
So-
Hopefully it won't.
Do you feel that that should stay in there, but with some caveat language? Like, for example, is willing to fairly share in the cost of its operation and maintenance if the fund goes negative or something like that?
Something like that, I think,
Would
should be.
you- Okay.
And it should be defined, whether it's population, property value, I don't care what it's based on, but you need something, whatever it is.
I would say proportionally share
Proportionally how,
by population.
okay, whatever.
What-
But
yeah.
you need to say to population, property value, or whatever you want it to be, and I don't care what it is.
I would say population because it's the populations that use it's human beings that use the transfer station, not property value. So I like your idea of saying proportionally share by population in the cost of its operation and maintenance if the
If
fund,
necessary.
define necessary.
It goes red.
That's what I want to put. If the fund goes red, or if the fund goes into negative balance.
I don't see that happening in my lifetime, but a lot of things have happened that I didn't see happening either.
Understood.
But that's where that came from.
Okay, that's great background.
Years ago, occasionally, the towns had to come up with some money.
No, that's great background. I was not aware of any of that in this. None of this changed. Everything is the same as it always was. So my recommendation is that we put it up for a vote.
I got two problems.
Okay,
Two problems. The first one is, I think you're trying to be too specific,
I didn't write this.
but whatever it came from.
Okay,
Operated on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday from 9 to 5. Well, what if COVID comes back this fall and we can't get people to come up and manage? You know, everybody's sick. Well, then you're violating your agreement. If you don't know, because you can't get people to. The more specific you are, the more opportunity to get yourself in trouble there is. So I don't know if we want to put in this. I would say at this time operated at that. I don't think we should commit to operating it on those hours and those days forever. I just say at this time, that's what we're
our
operating.
sign said, yeah, the sign says that.
Correct. I know what the sign says.
Yeah.
But we violated that when Harold, we didn't operate Wednesdays.
Well, we just closed it. We made the decision to close it.
I know,
So-
but you violated the agreement by doing it. So I just worry about the specific. The other thing that I have a problem with, you have nothing on there about the landfill itself. Now, technically, that's Essex. The old landfill up there. It has to be inspected every year. We have people come down, sample the wells. It has to be mowed at least every other year. It requires periodically maintenance and stuff. That really should be on Essex.
But this is,
But I think it would be under the general fund where that money would have to come from.
see, I'm
And
reading,
Bradley mows it, he should be billing the town.
I'm reading this as a transfer station.
Just for
which
the
is-
transfer
Which is
station,
not the
okay.
landfill. That's how I'm reading it.
Okay.
Just for the transfer station, the landfill is our property. We handle it separately out of this. That's
Okay.
how I'm reading that.
What
Right.
about on hours of operation, unless otherwise specified, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday?
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you go with that language?
Yeah,
Unless-
I can.
Okay,
And one other little small thing, we have in here, for example, furniture, carpets, and mattresses. We don't want furniture, carpet, and mattresses because they jam the thing up. We're sending them to Lewis. So I would take that out and put in bulky items that can jam the thing. up.
where are you looking, sir? Where?
On ticket trash formula, right on the back page.
Okay, ticket,
Says that. Oh.
And I've had some people that's had concerns about them taking mattresses and stuff down. What they're doing is taking them out there to the transfer station instead of taking them to Circle across the scale. I had some people.
Well, it should go to surface.
They should go to Circle, what they've been taking them out and try to get them into the trash part.
Yeah, it should not go to Lewis and get them jammed up any more than it does us.
Harold's been telling them to go to Dumpster Force, which they should be telling them to go to.
We need to be more specific.
I agree with you. That is,
Yep.
can you communicate? Can you help to communicate that? And I'm happy to support that.
Yeah, well, we should give something in writing though,
So-
backed up.
So yeah, I agree with you. So how about this? For items that cannot be weighed, cross all that out. The
Yeah.
transfer station manager shall determine an estimated weight and charge accordingly if able to accept.
Correct. If not, it needs to go to Circle and Lewis.
The
And then
town,
once again, the same thing as I had the problem with the days and hours.
yep. I like
You got
Aaron's,
what we're paying now, so if no, you're not, because you don't say how much it costs. I withdraw that one.
okay, I like Aaron's unless otherwise specified Monday for the dates and times. I
Yeah.
think that works. If able to accept, I like that. We can make signage to tell people, to inform Harold that they have to go to Circle, not Lewis Transfer Station.
I mean, it's all in the same place, but you just gotta go up.
You gotta go right back. Same thing with the construction debris. It's supposed to go to Circle, it's not supposed to go to E-Town Lewis Transfer.
Okay. Okay,
It's next to the other one, but it's supposed to go to Circle.
Circle down the way? Yeah, Okay, gotcha. I've been down there before.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Other
Okay.
than that, I don't have any problem.
Fantastic edits, Ron. Thank you. Claire, any edits that you'd like to offer? Aaron, anything? Chris, any edits you want to offer? You can step away for a moment.
No, I'm
so
here.
now,
No, all
any
good.
edits you would like to offer related to the transfer station document?
No, I think it's great.
Okay, great. Okay, I would like to, this will be resolution 62 to approve the transfer station intermunicipal agreement. Once we approve it, I'll share it with Sean at the Willsboro for them to consider, and then we will, hopefully they adopt it.
They might want some change.
They might want some changes. I'll let you know. I'll let you know. Okay, can I have a roll call, please?
Who moved it?
Oh, you're right. I don't have a mover or a seconder. Sorry. Aaron, okay, thank you, Aaron.
I can second.
Thank you, Ron. Can I do a roll call, please?
Councilman O'Connell? Yes. Councilman Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman DeFranco?
Yes.
And Supervisor.
Yes. Okay, thank you. I'll get that in the works with your edits. Okay, we are obviously not going to talk about this tonight, but in moving along, trying to keep momentum here with looking at these policies, then I want to make sure people understand why I'm doing this is because I don't know if we are in complete compliance. We, at the organizational meeting, passed a procurement policy, but it was just a one-page deal with just the numbers. This is a document that came directly from the town of Essex previously.
It's been changed. What you have is not the latest exact thing.
So,
There's one small change that we made 2 years ago.
okay.
If you look at the dollar limit on.
Oh, no, that is correct. No,
Page 3.
Yep, the dollar limits, no, this is,
3,000 to 6,000 is exactly the same as 6,000 to 10,000.
you're right. So we actually made that,
So that should say 3,000 to 9,999.
we actually made that change this year.
Yeah,
We can.
Whatever it was, I know we made that.
So I didn't edit that at all in here. You're right. I didn't edit any of that in here.
I
But
just
what I,
thought that when I went through this.
but I think the purpose language, the statutory exemptions, the methods of competition
They're
language,
all fine.
that's
That's the
all.
only problem I have.
But the last time it was adopted was 2000. It was
Yep.
20 years ago. And I feel that that is a problem for us because we have to pass this every year by the Office of State Controller. So I'm not aware of a document that's newer than this. I've asked Alicia Kelly, I've asked the town clerk to see
Yep.
if there's a newer document. If you would do me a favor and please
Didn't
read
we
this
just
over.
do it this year? We talked about. you
We
just
talked
made
about-
this change.
We talked about that, but we didn't talk about the rest of the language.
Okay.
And that's what I want to make sure we're all in agreement with.
So I think that we have done some,
We've
it
done
may
part of it.
not be a big thing, but we've talked about it.
Yes.
Every year we talk about it.
Yes, that is correct.
Doesn't mean we make changes or anything else, but we do talk about it.
We do, and so we are in compliance with that, with just that little part. My question is about the competitive bidding, about everything else that's in here. I found this when I was reorganizing the office. My question for the board, I feel that we have a responsibility, if this is a policy that is on the books, that we have to do something with this.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm bringing it to your attention.
That's the only problem I have.
Yep, that's a perfect problem, because you're
The only
right.
problem I have.
The second thing that I'm not sure that has been discussed in a long time are these our job descriptions. I don't expect that we're not gonna go through this tonight.
No,
I don't recall the last time that we've ever gone through this.
we've added,
We have.
so yes, we have addressed it because
Yeah.
we've added jobs and job descriptions. But doing the whole thing, no, we have not.
Correct.
And I don't know that we have to do
I
that
don't think we have to.
continuously, but I don't object to doing it this year.
Can you guys take a look at this over the next month and then we can have a
Sure.
conversation? So I think it's gonna be pretty easy, honestly. I've had Angel Forbes, our account clerk, look through it with me. All of this I digitized myself. This is all the direct language. None of this has been created. All of this has been, actually the town cleaner and the account clerk, we did create some things in there.
I have a question. Do
Yep.
you have revised 2020 on the bottom?
Yes,
Correct. When you adopt it, that'll be.
So that's just, because we don't know the date yet. So we're
Correct.
just getting ready.
but you can see the original was November 10th,
Yep.
98. I'm not saying it hasn't been revised since then. I can't find it.
We called county, and they've sent us job descriptions, and we use some of
I
their
bet you it's some of this.
language.
I bet you it might be some of this.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
know we did it. I remember calling the county and
I remember you doing
This,
that. Blake.
this all came from the red binder one, and you probably remember. There's a bit of the red binder in the supervisor's office. This information came from that red binder.
I
Job
don't know
descriptions.
what calling them of their language.
We should. I think that's a strong point of departure.
And the thing of it is, we found out that we had the wrong title for Angel, but it was for Donna at that time.
Okay.
What did we call her before? But anyway,
That's all relatively new, because that all changed
well, they said to
when
me,
Sharon was in, and the comptroller's office said that had to be divided in 2 jobs.
Okay.
So there was no job description, it was just Lois' time,
well, if you look
which
at
is
the
now
account-
neither one of them.
if you look at the account clerk, I know that that is one, especially that I said to my have
Because we didn't
to have
have,
clear definition.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Well,
Yeah.
Monica was still there. And so I said to her, Mom, send me these. I need them.
Well, take a peek and see what we have. Like I said,
Honestly.
what I'm showing you here is what I have found in my office and
I will
potentially.
look at it. I didn't have time.
Yeah.
to
Oh,
see
no,
it.
no, no. I totally get
the
that.
place
No,
where you should
totally-
look, so Patty's right, is at least.
I think Pat is
That's what they're
100% right.
required to be.
And I've asked Alicia to start picking through. I gave her a list
Yeah,
of things
she'll
I'm
find
looking for, and
She's a
I
good
know
finder.
it will be found.
No, I know we did it. And it was after 2000.
The
We
re-
did, a couple of years ago, we changed one too. Since you've been on the board, we
Okay.
changed some
Yeah.
job description. I don't remember what it
I
was.
don't either.
Maybe up at the transfer site,
I don't recall.
when remember when they made us no longer accept cash up there? That was changed.
Oh, that was before me.
Yeah, we had to put in, yes.
Okay. Take a peek at those documents. If you can bring me edits before the meeting, that'd be awesome, because then I can begin to incorporate. So I thank you for that.
Or you want us to look at this? This is what you're talking
That and the procurement, there's 2 policies there. Yeah, that and the procurement policy. The others are for the future. Letter C here, the Belden Noble Library MOU. They have I've created something that's generally based off the Grange MOU. I made some small minor modifications that fits the Grange, fits the library and not the Grange. They had a question, Ron, and Claire, you guys might know this. Do we hold liability insurance on the building? I think we do.
If we do not, we should. Because it's our building.
We should
not
have
their
insurance on the
about. I
building.
mean, we have insurance on all the buildings.
I think it is one of them.
Okay,
You can check with the upstate.
I'll check with Upstate. Yeah. I'll
But I
check with
think it
Upstate.
is one. They should have renters insurance, basically.
They do have
They should
insurance.
have the liability.
They have insurance on the
building,
contents.
fire,
Yep, they have insurance on the contents. Okay, moving down to this, you guys have been great. I'm really sorry it's 8:30. The supervisor's update, here is the monthly supervisor's report. I just got this today, which is why you didn't have it in your packet. There you go, that's just a review of the financials that you've all looked at. And there is also a copy of, you have a copy of Tina's wastewater and water treatment. This is a copy of Bradley's report. Yeah, I don't have that. This is a copy of Bradley's report.
Very good.
There you go. I'll get a copy for you.
I'll move the supervisor's report.
Do we approve that?
No, we should.
We paid the bills, but I don't think we do the supervisor report.
Usually so.
You do accept the supervisor's report. I don't think we've done that, but I'm happy to do it.
I don't care either way.
I feel like the supervisor's report is a review of,
It is, and I don't have a problem.
geez, I don't know.
You should.
I'll find out.
Do we used to? I can't remember if we did or we did.
I don't know. I don't think we've done it since I've been on the, I don't recall. It was just, hey, here's the report.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay, let me do some research on that. I also provided you with, so we were part of the town hall update. We were part of phase 2. And so I provided you with the documentation that we filled out with respect to how we're going to keep people safe in the town hall. You can take a peek at that and how we're cleaning and disinfecting the restrooms. I also want to let you know that I've begun to work on a project. I've gotten the names of all the prior supervisors of the town of Essex, going all the way back to the 1800s. And I'm working on a project to honor those past supervisors in this building. And I just want to let you know that that's a project that I'm working on. Kathy DeWolf has given me a bunch of information, and I might be looking for some ideas on how best to put that up, but I am working on that. Essex County highlights very quickly. All the supervisors have been assigned a committee, a new committee assignment. So I'm on 5 different committees, and we're working with those other supervisors to make sure that we're working with the department heads and those liaisons. I'm working with mental health, district attorney, solid waste, recycling, Roost, and employee benefits. So that's how the county is working all that. We're only having 2 meetings a month, regular board meeting at the county and Ways and Means. That's it. So I just wanted to share for now. Yeah, I just wanted to share that with you all. We have the abstract. All of you have looked through the abstract, and I want to make sure you're aware that there was a $49.99 mistake. It was related to an expense that was made. Tina made an expense that Angel thought went to Tina's personal credit card, but it actually went to a town credit card. And so the abstract totals are $49.99. $50 less. Right, that's exactly right. So there was just some confusion on that part. So the new numbers are in there. I would need a motion and a second to approve the bills. Thank you, Claire.
I'll second.
Thank you, Ron. Do I have a roll call vote to pay the bills?
Councilwoman McConnell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Hall? Yes. Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman DePinto?
Yes.
And Supervisor Hughes?
Yes. For the good of the order, 2 very quick things. There was a public comment from Pat Gardner related to some comments that I made back in May. And I think you all saw those on email, and I wanted to make sure that you all had a copy of this in person. Did anybody want to make any comments related to Pat's message, Pat's public statements? Her statement's on the back there, and my response to her is on the front.
One thing I agree 100% is the town clerk is where all those policies are supposed to be kept.
I agree.
We find copies of it in Cheryl's or yours, but the town clerk is where they need to be.
You're right. And I am working with her. I actually asked her 2 days ago to start looking through it. And I told Pat, if I'm wrong and I made a mistake, I'll be the first to own it. I have no problem with that. But I haven't seen that yet, and that's why I'm bringing those to our attention. But it was, again, in my response, you'll read, has nothing to do with the people involved prior. It has to do with, are we doing the right things and following the law? I know you appreciate the law. I know you appreciate the law. I know we all appreciate the law. We have to follow the law. So I'm trying to do that. But thank you very much for that response.
Yep.
Anybody else have any comments related to Pat's? None? Okay, also want to make sure that we're aware that there is a water meeting on, I think it's June the 19th at 10 o'clock in the morning. And that'll be in this room right here. Water meeting, June the 19th at 10 o'clock in the morning. Is there anything else for the good of the order?
I just want to know if Ron heard chips.
I haven't heard from Chips.
Oh, yes, chips.
We are going to get it. But right now, they're kicking us around all over. Today, they may take 10%. So, in the recovery, it's a New York State. But, Chips, we may get reimbursed. We may get reimbursed.
We may not get any reimbursed.
No, we'll be reimbursed.
We'll be reimbursed.
We'll be reimbursed.
We may get it in 6 months or it may be 16 months. Like I've talked to Ken around about this. I changed my payment plan all around. I got the only payment approach. We've done a lot of work on it. And I'm going to go as far as I can because I actually got more money coming than what I had.
Because you weren't anticipating that paid New York money.
No, or winter recovery.
Winter
recovery, excuse me.
Plus I
Right.
had 24,000 left from last year.
So are those two that you just spoke of, Dave New York or whatever you said, are
Whatever
those
could-
in addition to chips?
This year.
Mhm.
They're additional chips.
But
They're
we,
additional.
We've had for several years now.
we gotta spend them first because we can't carry them over.
Okay.
You know, we carry checks over. But altogether, what I figured out today, I'm gonna have like 122,000, but the spend for tips, but we only set aside 80,000. So I'm gonna try not to go over 80,000.
And Bradley also,
Using the other stuff first.
Bradley also shared that paving is going to take place
This block.
on Main Street,
Yeah.
this block on Main
They
Street.
promised it last year, it didn't happen, but they're gonna do it this year.
It's on the books. I talked to Kenny the other day, we're talking to Reichenberg about coming and knowing it. See, the thing out here, the county owns the road, but we own the parking space.
Right.
So I talked to Kenny, and we decided to just put everything right down the middle.
To come out ahead.
Yeah.
Because there's more parking than roads.
Yeah.
So when we know when that's going to happen, we'll get word out to the community.
And what they're gonna do is grind the pavement, add the oil and put it back, because they don't wanna go any higher up. So it'll be just like new pavement, but it'll be the same level.
We're gonna take an inch out. Put an inch back.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. Where do we start? Here?
We'll start at 22 to Church Street where they put
Finish.
the storm drain in.
It's just this one block that they wouldn't do before.
Probably talking 2 days, day to melt, day to wipe.
Okay.
So,
Anything else?
To do it.
What's that?
It's a good year to do it.
It's a good year to do it. Anything else for the good of the order?
You know, we worked on that.
Oh, Bradley's got more.
road All spring. We have had over 1, 2.
Oh, this is
cars a
great.
day.
This is
We
great.
started putting gravel on that day before yesterday. We've had 100 cars a day.
You want to check?
That's right. That's right. Bradley's got a lot of good projects coming up in a lot of different parts of the town.
Now, is that also where you're gonna be paving in as a foot road?
Yeah, on the hill.
I'm gonna go as far as I can with it.
Starting in Wellsburg?
No, starting at the top
Top of the hill.
Actually, we're
By the
gonna
farm.
start on the seasonal road in the hill because it's always washing out.
That's the worst problem.
That's-
That's what I was hoping you were gonna say.
I've done a lot of work in there. I dug out part of the road, I put millings in there, I dug them down as far as I could get them, so I got rid of the walls.
And you changed the drainage, so
Changed the drainage, we've got the water.
you can see that, that's gonna help.
Different direction, and personally, I don't think it'll ever wash out again. There was so much water from there. I give some help with soil and water, so he's gonna pay for all the culverts, some of the nice pine and all the stone and
Yeah,
all
great.
this and that. As of right now, as far as soil and water, we're the only town that's doing it. And I'm talking to her, I gotta talk to her Monday about the Wheeling Road, I need someone up there to do something that we can let everything.
You talked about Daniels Road, putting some culvert work on Daniels,
Road, I got some culverts to put in there, Reynolds Road, we got some culverts out there.
Blockhouse with the
Blockhouse, we're gonna do
ditching.
some ditching.
No, she's, I was worried in the past days and retired, but I think she's doing pretty good.
She's done very good.
Yeah, at least for us.
She's helped me a lot.
Anything else for the good of the order? We stand adjourned at 8:51. Thank you, everybody, very much. Thank you.
That's the thing.
No, I know, I sit down for too long, I like